Hello, and welcome to the podcast, Your Life Transformed. I am your host, Dr. Franchell Hamilton, and I am super excited to have a guest on today, Ari Tulla. He is CEO of Elo.health. I've read a lot about this company, and I'm excited to kind of talk to you about this because this potentially can transform how people take supplements. And so I'm super excited to kind of talk to you about how you even came to do this. And I'm a bariatric surgeon by trade, and my bariatric patients have to take several pills, right? And that's like leads to a lot of non-compliance. So to be able to kind of formulate a formula where it can be combined into one, I'm kind of super excited. But I first want to know how all of this came about, a little bit about your company.
Hey, thank you. Really great to be here. And I mean, I'm really eager to learn also more about that point because we haven't really entered into your turf yet. So
Yeah.
we start to work more and more in healthcare, but we start from the wellness side because
Right.
the goal what I had when I was starting the company, it was really about think about this. We have 120 million Americans today who take supplements, either pill or powder, every day. And how many of them know if they're taking the right things? Nobody. So what is going on? Half the people do something and they don't know if it is good or bad. That was a really big question mark for me. And having been a tech entrepreneur for a long time, I was lured into healthcare. Uh, I don't know, 15 years ago almost, when my wife had health issues. So it all started with in my family, year 2000. My wife had a thyroid tumor, and she was 20-year-old healthy woman, and suddenly you have like a fist-sized tumor in your neck,
Yeah.
and that was taken out. So the healthcare did exactly what they should, take it out. There was no cancer beyond it, and but it led into a lot of autoimmune hormonal imbalances, and basically a verdict that we can never have a family. So we spent
Oh.
20, almost about 10 years on working on this problem to find a solution. And finally, we were living in Europe first, and we moved to California, and we had a really great doctor who was helping us to find a new diet. And that was really one of the first anti-inflammatory diets that can lower your inflammation. And her body, my wife's body, was able to heal itself. And basically, the food became medicine. She was able to
Right.
get out of the other medication, and we were able to finally get pregnant with IVF. So for me, that was the moment when I realized that food is medicine. And I wanted to work my next 30 years, not in tech and video games, what I did before, but in healthcare. And I've now built, this is the third company I'm building in healthcare. And the focus always is like, how can we help people either navigate the healthcare better, find the right doctor, find the right care. And now the same thing. How can we help people to navigate and find the right nutrition that can keep them healthy or help you heal your body like my wife did? And
Yeah.
that's the kind of the catalyst here. And really like you alluded, the idea is like what can we do? Like can we look at information from your body, being blood biomarkers. We also use wearable device data. Think about your sleep, activity, recovery, weight, blood pressure, glucose, and also, of course, health assessments. There's a lot of self-reporting that we can do that we can learn from. And then we take that information, we use AI to understand what do you really need. And then we send you those products. They can be pills, they can be powders, and they can also be new product is that we do gummies that we 3D print, all the supplements in a one gummy to make it easier because we know the fact that we can give people all the pills they want. And you know this better as a doctor than anyone that people often don't take the medication. They often don't take the supplements. And if you have a pill of a medication or a supplement, and you don't take it, it's not really valuable. It won't help. You have to be adherent. So we have to build better experiences to people. So we've been doing this now for 4 years, and we've been working with thousands of people, and luckily many of them, I think they have gained a lot of benefit. They started to take the right things, and many people have been able to help a lot on the vitamin levels, mineral levels, and even like things like A1C, cholesterols, and things that are very important for your health.
Yeah, well, thank you for that background. I love the way it started. You always love a good story to a start of a company like that. So I'm glad you shared that. And so I was excited specifically for your product, because you mentioned it's personalized, and I'm excited personally for the gummies. So I have a problem personally with taking a bunch of pills, right? And so, and like I said, as a bariatric surgeon, a lot of my patients have malnutrition problems. And in general, dealing with the world of weight gain and obesity, that's actually a problem of malnourishment, actually. And so I'm always interested in putting people on supplements. I mean, obviously I can operate, obviously I can give them a medication, but for me, supplementation has always been important, because I'm always like, without supplementing this, we're going to have all these pieces that we can't put together. And I love the fact that you can put several supplements in a gummy. So if you can walk me through, like if I were a customer of yours, how does this work? So you mentioned wearables, biomarkers, some data that we enter, in blood work. So if I wanted to sign up for, say, a gummy, how would I walk through the process with this to get a personalized gummy specifically based on what I need?
Yeah. So the easiest way to do it today is to, we can go to our website, Elo.health, and you can sign up for the powders or the gummies or the supplement pills. And if you go for the gummies, first thing we do, we're gonna do a pretty easy health assessment, about 22 questions that we've been optimizing over the last years, and those are giving us pretty good idea what you need. Of course, we're not going to know exactly your vitamin D level or your B vitamin level, your iron level, or your inflammation level, but we can predict pretty well. Why we can do that is that, like I said, we have done thousands of people where we did an assessment and we did the blood test. And then we did the assessment and the blood test again. So we
Okay,
have
that was
that
gonna be my
data.
next question. You know, as a doctor, I'm like, without blood work, how are you gonna know? But okay, perfect.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
we built a system that we learned from the data from the people. And I mean, you probably know this as well, that people are not that different. Like we know what are the common deficiencies, we know the common issues people have, and we know that like type of diet you are, the type of medication you are, the age you are, and so forth. There's a lot of data that we can predict. But I'm always saying we are not perfect. We're not going to know that your vitamin D is 18 or
Yeah.
35. We're not going to know that before the blood test. So anyway, you go through that, then once you have done the questions, we are actually calculating the right plan for you right then and there. So we take your data, we throw it in a real computer in the cloud, like a supercomputer. We're going to calculate the right plan. You're going to see it then and there. And then you can just, if you like the plan, you can buy the plan. If not, you can communicate with our team and we can modify it according to your hopes. And you order it, it actually goes to our factory, and we will create custom gummies for you, only for you, 3D printed for you, and then they're going to be sent to you 3 days later, and you have a custom gummies with your name on top. And nobody else has the same product that you have. We have 398 million combinations today that we can make with our system.
Wow. Oh, I was
That's
gonna
pretty
ask.
unique. Nobody has done this before. So it's a very unique approach. We get the right dosing for you, the right products, and so forth. And then you receive them. And if you want, you also get an Elo application that you can actually get notified every day at the right time to take your vitamins, take
Yeah,
your
a
protein, take your
reminder.
products. You can also talk to your dietitian if you want in the app. So we have access to that. So we really wanted to make you easy to understand what you get. And every day, if you want, you can always click a button and you will get the blood test at your home, and you can do the blood testing to make it even more specific. And in the beginning, like I said, we started with the blood testing to be a mandatory thing, but there are a lot of people out there who feel that the blood testing is too invasive. It's too difficult to do the finger pricking or go to a lab. So we want to make it something that people can do if they want. And maybe, third of the people, they want to do the blood test. And the other people are happy with doing the assessment.
And so that's my other question. So for the people, say I do the assessment and I just do the assessment first. And then I'm like, you know what? I want a little bit more accuracy. So then I do the blood work. Are you finding that this test that they've already done is pretty, for the most part, accurate to the blood work? And then maybe just make tweak in dosages at that point, or what?
Um, Most people have never done a blood test that goes
Got it.
beyond
Okay.
lipid panel or the A1C. So most
Got
people
it.
actually don't have any idea.
Okay.
let me take, I mean, I don't want to talk about our customers because of course they are patients. So, but I can talk
Right.
about myself. Like, when I started, I had never taken any supplements. People have called me biohacker for 20 years and I've been involved in this for a long time. I'm an athlete. Uh, but I did the first test and my team was like, okay, we're going to do everything. And I had done, full sequencing of my epigenetics, my DNA and
Correct.
all those things.
Correct.
And then they do the Elo test first time and we realized my vitamin D is 13.
Mhm.
And then my team, very smart doctors and scientists, they look at my DNA. I had been fully sequenced, and they realized with the new SNP analyzer that I have two mutations in my vitamin D metabolism. I don't metabolize sun like most people do. I'm from northern Finland, by the way, and there's no sun at all in the winter. So my vitamin D had probably been almost zero because in California, after living here over a decade, it's still 13, very low. And they basically put me on a horse dosing of vitamin D. Like I had to take like, I don't know, 15,000
Yep.
IU daily for
Mhm.
4 or 5 months to get it into the 40, 50. And I felt different. So I became a believer myself. I mean, I always say people, supplements are just here to supplement your diet. Some cases they are necessity, like in a case of, rapid weight loss, like what you work on, or let's say in fertility or pregnancy, you have to take supplements because
Yeah.
it just makes so much sense. But most people taking a multivitamin, it's more like a good feeling type of thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't do any harm, but it doesn't really gonna save you.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, it was interesting that, and then I also realized later that I was an iron depositor. So if I take iron supplements, I would be depositing iron and I might get an iron poisoning. Good to
Yeah.
know. I mean, I had no
Yeah.
idea. So my point is that most people think they do know, but most
Correct.
people have never been tested for even like vitamin D, that you should be tested, vitamin B12 if you are vegetarian or vegan, and then iron. That is very key metric for, of course, women when you get pregnant, you're going to be tested for iron. But iron is a big deal also for men because many people feel tired and they have way too low iron.
Yeah, correct. I agree. I agree. So then with the gummies also, or the powders or any of, do you get to, I saw, could you pick your flavors? Is that like do you have several flavors that the person can pick even once they like get their results and stuff back? I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, so we wanted to. So I always, when I build products, and I've done this for, I don't know, 25 years, building different products in tech and different worlds. And to me, it's thinking about the experience you have as a consumer. And I like to use, we can debate about Elon Musk, but we can say that the Tesla is a pretty good car. I have one of them, and when I got it, I felt that I didn't buy a better electric car, I bought a better car. And
Mhm.
same here, like supplements are not a very user-friendly thing today. You have to go to, a store or Amazon to buy pill bottles. And then you put them in your cabinet where you have, I don't know, 15 bottles already. Half of them are old. And I mean, I've been going to my friend when I started the company, I went to my friends, houses. Some of them have like really nice big houses, and I go to kids and I open like, where do you have the supplements? And then it's like coming over, you're like
Exactly.
drowning on them. And everybody has the same problem. And we are not very good at that. So I was like, can we make it better? So first thing we did, we built a pill pack. So it's a simple thing like pill pack with your name and has the right pills for you every day. That was already better because you get it every day and you take one of them. We remind you so you don't forget. We even numbered them, 1 to 30.
Yeah.
And now the people said that, okay, I don't like taking like 5 pills. Swallowing that is hard. Some of them are big, the vitamin, like
Yes.
omega-3 pills is very big. So I
Exactly.
was like, okay, can we do better? We spent 3 years around the world to find a partner who can create 3D printed gummy vitamins.
Yeah. That's
And
so
then we
cool.
built them, and now the people are getting them. I mean, they are loving the concept that you can literally go to the flow. You can try it on the website. You go through the assessment. At the end, we ask you what flavor you want. Today we have 8 flavors, and we're going to be dropping new flavors every quarter. I think the new one is going to be yuzu flavor. So it's really cool that you can pick, and whenever you want, you can go to the Elo app and you can change the flavor. Like for next
Yeah.
quarter, I want to have a strawberry, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. And also in the powder, of course, if you take the same idea, you take the like a protein powder. This is more recovery. You can also have like a daily powder, a weight loss powder. It comes with my name or your name in
Yeah.
the top. So
That's super cute. I
it
like
and you can pick like vanilla, chocolate, plain, different things. So that's the fun about it. Like it's a product that evolves with you to becomes better with you, and also I think more fun in a way and more
that.
exciting.
Yeah. So I agree with Tesla. I have two. So I like you already because clearly we're already on the same page. All of the forward thinkers I love, which you clearly are a forward thinker. So I also, do you guys do another common thing people are looking for is like a healthy green? Like, can we talk about like where your products are from? Are they healthy? Is it like environmentally safe product? Like a little bit more about what goes into the Elo products.
Yes, I think that was another point that again, I'm a new person to the supplement world. I was, I never really took supplements before, and I came to this partially because I felt that it's very confusing, complicated, and definitely unregulated. Like I'm from, Northern Europe, Nordics, where supplements are regulated like medicine. I
Hmm.
mean, there's no shop where you go and there's like 20,000 bottles of supplements where half of them are not at all what they say they are.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
exactly.
you can look at the studies and, even if you go Whole Foods, they're quite good at it. Half the products, if you buy, are completely different dosing that they say on the
Correct.
box.
Exactly.
That's pretty scary to me.
Mhm.
So what we do third-party testing on all the products we do.
That's good.
Um, and we also the gummies are made in England actually, and they are within the EU regulations. So all the ingredients are coming from the EU. None of them are coming from China. That nothing wrong with China, but the supplements that are coming from there are often very low cost, and they are often very suspect. There could be heavy metals, there could be different things that are impurities. We also test the products always for the dose. So the dose is the right one. And I think one thing that people don't know, like okay, you go to, let's say GNC or you go to the Whole Foods or you go to whatever grocery you have or Amazon, you buy a product. Take a look at the product, labeling and how old is the product. It often, can be a year old. Some of the supplements have a 2 or 3 year shelf life. Okay, let's take a product like vitamin C or many vitamins. They are actually quite bioactive products. What I mean by that is that you put them in a pill, they are starting to leak away the active ingredients.
Like
And
immediately.
usually, if you take vitamin C, it could be a year later, it could be half of the vitamin C left in that pill.
Yeah.
2 years later, it might be 30%. So what companies do, they often add way more. So every product we do at Elo is made to order for you, 2 or 3 days before.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
this is ingredients we actually got from the farm, maybe a little like, month or two ago. So
Yeah.
think about if you do a pill, it could be that, the ingredients that are coming there, they might be already a year old, and then they are made in the pill, and they could be a year or two old. So you might actually have none of the ingredient left in this product. So that's one aspect that I don't think we normal people know if you haven't really went deeply into the supply chain of supplement products.
Yeah. No, thanks for shedding light on that, especially for the listeners. I did my a master's program actually in France, and so I lived in Europe for a while. And the way they eat and everything, it's so much. I mean, you're much fresher, cleaner. All of the above. And so it's funny because I'm part of an international organization too with weight loss, and I appreciate EU because there's so many times I've stood up at meetings and I'm like, they don't approve this in Europe. Why are we allowed to put this in our food here in America? Believe it or not, I'm actually excited just for listeners to know that you're right, it's a much stringent process. A lot of some of the processed foods that we have here in America, those ingredients are not allowed in Europe because they're like papers and papers on how carcinogenic they are and et cetera, et cetera. But yet here in America, it's trace amounts. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So they actually allow a lot of ingredients that are not allowed over there. So just putting that out there. So that's actually exciting that you guys get the stamp of approval from that. So
And there
that's
was a
great.
study, like two interesting points maybe. There's a study done recently that this is a very small study, very new science, but people are looking at now products and interactions. So, I mean, we all know that if you buy Frank or you buy, hot dog sausages and they're all red before, they have nitrates in them. And those nitrates are, by the way, illegal in every country in the world except the US.
Except the
And then if you buy you buy anything that is meat red, that means there's nitrates. And if you smoke a cigarette and you eat a hot dog with nitrates, I think the number I heard was that it puts you in a 33 times higher risk of lung cancer. So if you smoke the cigarette itself, it's like triple. If you do them both together, so if you love baseball and you love, smoking cigarettes, you might actually be really killing yourself at the rate that nobody really knows. So that's one interesting thing that, we are starting to learn about these things. They're hard to study, but that was an interesting finding I heard a few weeks ago. But the other point I want to ask you, so because I love connecting with you because you are working in the field that we are now just kind of getting to. So we are getting a new product out this week, in like 2 days. So I probably can talk about it already.
Yeah.
So we spent the last about 6 months on studying and getting very deep into the area of weight loss, and I think we built the first ever companion product now for the GLP-1 medication. And it might actually be a very good product for your patients as well who are going for the bariatric surgery. So we looked at the side effects of the GLP-1s, which are rapid weight loss, which is great, but then also rapid loss of muscle mass. So you need to get more protein and a good kind of protein at the right time, right amount. We also realized that most people, they eat once a day. They go very liquid diet, so they need more nutrients, vitamins and minerals, because they eat too little of the same food they ate before. And thirdly, many people, almost all people, have some gut issues, like could be diarrhea, it could be constipation. So we added high quality fiber and probiotics. And then the last thing that we just learned in a deeper research is that many people feel very thirsty. And it might be because of the potassium magnesium deficiency. So we also added electrolytes in the product. So that product is coming out now. We call it the GLP-1 companion protein. And what do you think about that?
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I'm excited you mentioned that on this podcast too. That would be very exciting because I put a lot of people on supplements, and I do a lot of GLP-1 medications, honestly. Like they're in competition with my surgeries. People are coming in asking me for them. I oversee a telehealth company, and all we do is GLP-1s. And so that would be great, actually, because you're right. I tell them 40% muscle mass loss potentially with GLP-1. So I say, if you lose 100 pounds, 40 of that potentially is muscle mass, because a lot of people, unfortunately, are not doing weight resistance. They're not eating enough protein on these medications. It's almost like they need more protein than what they would normally get. And they're just struggling because the medications don't give them those nutrients. I all put them on fiber because they all have some type of GI issues. And so I really think that combination would be great because they are having some, and that was one of my biggest concerns that I tell with some patients, and I do peds too. And some of now it's been FDA approved for pediatrics, especially in pediatrics, they are just not getting enough nutrients. Like I said, obesity is always malnutrition anyway. They're not getting enough of the good nutrition. You put them on the meds, and then they change some diet changes, but they're just not able to get enough. So definitely something like that product, I think, would be a great idea. I would definitely recommend it to all of my patients. They're always
Thank you.
looking for something. They are. And the fact that they
yeah.
don't have to take a ton is this going to be in a gummy? What is this, in the pill pack?
It's going to be a powder. We're going to do it in a powder form because, again, we want to make it very easy for people to either even take it with, water or whatever plant milk you use, or milk, or you can do a smoothie. So we want to make it easy to start your day with something healthy and also easy to digest, easy to eat.
Oh, that's great. I'll be looking forward for that information so I can push that out too. That's very interesting. Well, thank you so much for all of the insight, giving us an overview. I'm super excited. This is the first, and I've done a lot of nutritional supplements. I've studied a lot of them, pharmaceutical one, higher brand ones. And so this was very, for me, revolutionary. And so I was just super excited to be able to kind of meet with you and talk to you about this product. Thank you so much for meeting with me.
Hey, thank you. Maybe because you were asking about this, just a quick note on, so the question about like gummies, people ask me all the time, like, why would I take a gummy because they're just candy? And most gummies were made in the beginning by candy companies who realized that by adding vitamin D or vitamin C, I can sell it for 10 times more expensive price. That was the beginning. We have now pushed the envelope to make the gummies as potent as any pills can be. And I'm happy to send you a link. We conducted a study last year where we took 50 people with vitamin D deficiency, and 50 people with vitamin D deficiency. We gave them gummies and pills, same dose. And we saw exactly the same outcomes, except the gummy people were more adherent, and they had a little bit higher, increase in the vitamin D. So same outcomes. So the gummies can be as potent and effective as pills, which is great to know, I think, for people.
Yeah, and I would say for your gummies, because all of my patients who are on gummies, I'm like, that's just like candy. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not, but it's good to know that your particular gummies can be as effective specifically as pills. That's good to know. Perfect. Thank you.